With so many cozy games coming out left and right, it can be difficult to decide which one to play next, but I'm here to help you out by sharing my top 20 picks divided into beginner-friendly, intermediate, and advanced. I'm gonna also warn you about 4 of them that I think you should probably avoid. Keep in mind that these cozy games have minimal to zero farming in them, because these will have a separate video coming up very soon. Hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If you're new here and you love everything RPG, cozy games, and farming games, you're in the best place, so make sure to squish the like and the subscribe buttons because I have so many fun content coming up next. And we're starting with our beginner-friendly games. These are ones that require zero to no grinding, and you don't have to worry about using any guides or anything of that sort to help you out. And the first game that comes to mind is Donut County. This one's perfect for those of you who want a short and sweet experience. I finished playing it in 3 hours, and the premise is that you play as this greedy raccoon who was stealing their friends' trash and sending them down a hole until one day they kinda got a bit too greedy and they ended up consuming everything around. So you start by playing as a small hole, and then the more objects you consume, the bigger the hole gets. And the more that I say this, I realize this is not PG friendly, but this is the premise of the game. This is a narrative-driven adventure. The characters are very quirky and it's very simple to play. I promise you're going to be laughing your butt off with this one. The next game is fairly new. It just got released at the end of 2023 and it's called Loddlenaut. And you're basically cleaning up the ocean, and as you do so, you come across something called Loddles, which are these very tiny and cute creatures who need your help. When you find them, you can clean them up, you can feed them and take care of them, and the goal is to have them evolve, hatch eggs, and that way you can get even more Loddles. You can also upgrade your tools to become more efficient, and the game overall is very cozy and calming and is perfect for bite-sized gameplay sessions. Another cozy game that I always love to talk about whenever I get the chance to is Lil Gator Game. In this one, you play as this cute little gator who's trying to get their sister's attention so she can play with them just like the old days, but she is dedicated towards other things, so you decide, you know what, I'm gonna just navigate my way around the world, I'm gonna meet up with all the new friends, and the sense of wonder and imagination and how this game manages to make you feel like a child is amazing. You can craft a variety of cute hats and tools and explore the world by gliding, swimming, and sliding your way through. The stakes are very low in this one, and it is a very cozy and wholesome adventure to take part in. Next up, we have Lake, which also received a new DLC recently, which made me want to put it on your radar once more. In this game, you play as Meredith. She decides to go back to her hometown, borrow her dad's mail delivery truck, and she just wants to link up with the community of Providence Oaks once more. Your decisions matter, so you do decide how you want to spend your days, and it's perfect for the winter time to cozy up and go on this adventure. Then in the DLC, you get to play as her dad, so this serves as the prequel so you can get a better look into her family's life. This is such a sweet and cozy experience that I highly recommend you check out. Next, we have Venba, which is more of a bittersweet narrative that gave me goosebumps through its 2-hour playtime. This one's perfect for people like myself who are foreigners, who are living in another country, and then you kind of get the feeling of, yes, I still have my identity, but I also want to belong to this new culture. So this one tells the story of that through different generations, through food and creating recipes or relearning them. The sound effects and the music as well as the graphics are so mesmerizing, so you're in for a great time. Now next up, we have a game that I personally did not enjoy that much, but I know that it's still a good game and I know that a lot of people love it if you happen to be the target audience for this. So if you are keen to play puzzle-focused games with lots of hints and low stakes, A Little to the Left is the one for you. You can stack and organize household items, kind of like unpacking, and the things you'll organize are things like the drawers, or maybe plates, glasses, pickle jars, or letters, and occasionally a naughty little cat will come along and try to ruin your work. The only reason I did not enjoy it is because I personally do not like puzzle games, but I can tell that this one has its own charm, so I decided to still have it on this list. And one more beginner-friendly cozy game would be Littlewood. I sing this one's praises whenever I can, and I'm gonna tell you the story about how I got into it in case you never heard it, but I've told the story so many times. So basically, I would see Littlewood recommended to me on Steam all the damn time, but the graphics put me off. Until one day, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it out. I'm gonna see what this game is all about. I see the positive reviews, so let me try it, and man oh man did I become absolutely obsessed with it. You play as this character who just saved the world, but they forgot all about it, and when they saved the world, the town got absolutely annihilated. So here you are with the villagers trying to rebuild it from the ground up, and you can do so by terraforming, fixing homes, and including like the interiors of these villagers' houses. You can take companions with you to different areas, explore, and what I like about this game is that there is no time in the sense of the time is ticking right now. It's more so the more you use your stamina, the more the day will progress. This is such a fun and relaxing experience. I do have a before you buy for it if you want to check that out, and I highly recommend that you at least think about it. I know the graphics may put you off, but hey, look at me, I am obsessed with it now. Moving to the intermediate games, these are not like super difficult, but still they can be a bit more complicated than the beginner-friendly ones. However, you can still enjoy them regardless. And first off, if you are not new here, you know it's gonna be Cozy Grove. I freaking adore Cozy Grove. This was the recipe to cure my burnout from Animal Crossing New Horizons. And so in this one, you play as a spirit scout and you go to this island where it's full of bear ghosts. It's all very black and white, and by completing the tasks for them and helping them out, you slowly restore the color back to the island. The game does sync with your real-time clock, just like Animal Crossing does, and while it borrows many gameplay mechanics from Animal Crossing, it still sets itself apart where you can still fish, craft, decorate, and more, but it has its own cuteness and charm that makes it worth your while. I do have a before you buy for it where I share my first impressions of it if you want to check it out, and I freaking love this game. Another intermediate cozy game is one that I don't know how to say the first part of it, but I think the first part means literally a little shop, which is the second part of its name. And this is a fantasy shop management game where you start with a little shop, you sell a variety of items, and you slowly expand. This is a hidden gem that I rarely see any people talk about. The fun part is that the more you expand your shop, the more items you can start crafting and selling. And of course, you can customize the shop however you want it, including all the nitty-gritty stuff like which item goes where the doors will be, the archways, etc. And you have to learn about the process of, okay, we're gonna buy when things are at a low price and then sell them at a higher price to make profit. So in the beginning, it can be a little bit overwhelming because with other like farming and cozy games, the prices are always set the same. In this one, you are managing this around, but the more you play, the more you will get the hang of things, and it's such a amazing game that I highly recommend you check out. Next, we have one Lonesome Village, which is for you if you love life sim elements, but you also don't mind some puzzles. You play as this cute little coyote and find yourself in Lonesome Village, and your goal is to slowly build your cozy community, and to do that, you have to go into a tower, solve puzzles, and slowly rescue the villagers trapped there. Then you can customize your home, you can help out the villagers by completing their tasks, and slowly unfold a mysterious story about a cult. Without giving too much information and spoiling things, there is an interesting story here. The reason why I put it as an intermediate game is that the puzzles are a little bit too much. I had to look up guides for all of them, but there's something so weird about, despite me hating puzzle games, I think you guys know that by now, there is something charming about this one that still made me go back to it. We also have Chef Life, a restaurant simulator, making it to the intermediate list, and this one is perfect for cooking game lovers like myself. Here you are building your own restaurant and you're trying to get your Michelin star, so you need to manage everything from the staff, the decor, recipes, adjusting the menu, and more. I love that you can choose how difficult you want your experience to be, so you can eliminate time limits, for example, if that gives you anxiety. However, the amount of things you need to do can be overwhelming at times. I really think that this game has been slept on, and I don't see many people mentioning it in their cozy games list, so I highly recommend that you check it out. Now here's one that also released this year that just put me on an emotional roller coaster, and when I started playing, I couldn't put it down until I finished it. And I'm talking about the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. This is a narrative adventure where you play as Fortuna. She is a witch that has been sent to exile, and now you're trying to help her make a comeback. But the way that she decides to do that is not the best. Without spoiling things, she strikes a deal with someone that she actually shouldn't. And so you start making your own deck of tarot cards and slowly reach out to your sisters while trying to regain your freedom. As the days pass by, you learn more, but you also make very important decisions which change the final outcome. This one will give you different playthrough sessions because every decision that you make will impact the final story, but it's one that will grip you and hook you into its storyline, and I highly recommend you check it out. Now, this would not be a Miss Bubbles top cozy games recommendation if I don't actually recommend Fantasy Life. And I know that a lot of you have a 3DS but didn't try it yet, and since we learned that Fantasy Life: A Girl Who Steals Time, the game that's coming to the Nintendo Switch, has been delayed to summer 2024, maybe it's time for you to actually try the first one. This is my favorite 3DS title where you can customize your character and get 12 lives to choose from, which means you have 12 classes to level up in and enjoy, from Hunter to Paladin, Cook, Angler, Woodcutter, and more. Each class has a variety of tasks to complete, and they are all intertwined, so you will need to progress them to get better gear and just become stronger in the game. The world is gorgeous even on the 3DS, the story is quirky, and being able to customize your house, have a companion with you, go bounty hunting, and more will keep you playing for hours upon hours. So if you never played Fantasy Life, the game on the 3DS, and you have one, please do. Now, if you watch my 10 out of 10 cozy games, you saw me talk about House Flipper, and this week House Flipper 2 got released. It does everything that House Flipper 1 does, but adds a bit more, and it's even better. If you never heard about it before, this game is all about getting new property, revamping it, selling it, and then getting a better one and selling it for even more profit. There's something so satisfying about doing virtual chores, things like using a hammer to destroy walls, then fixing up the space by choosing everything from wallpapers to flooring, furniture, stair railing, and everything in between. Plus, the assembly mechanic is so fun, so rather than just you putting things in their place, like let's say in The Sims, you're actually assembling things and you're taking a bigger part in it. So yes, I've been playing House Flipper 2 and I've been having a great time, and I can see it easily replacing House Flipper 1 in my 10 out of 10 cozy games. Let's move to the advanced category. These games either have combat in them, or they have some time management, or they have a little bit too many mechanics that can be a bit overwhelming. And the first game that came to my mind is Cult of the Lamb. Now, it is a little bit weird because if you really think about it, this one is like, you know, how the heck is a game about starting a cult and sacrificing lambs gonna be cozy? It's basically because of how freaking cute the lambs are, and the part where you are building your base is actually fun and wholesome, and the sound effects that this game implements is so cute. However, everything else is just like not really cozy. You go to different dungeons and fight enemies, so there is combat, and you're gonna die a lot. But the more that you die, the stronger you will get, and also the more lambs will question if you are actually trustworthy after all. There is this back and forth between how cozy this game is, but it's still very fun and worth your while. So I would say, remember, I told you this game is a roguelite at heart. You're gonna be dying a lot, but if you're okay with that, then it is actually a good cozy game. I laughed by saying cozy because I'm just like, is it cozy? But people put it in their cozy lists and I'm just like, okay, fine. Now, another advanced cozy game is one of my favorites, and that is A Potion Permit. You play as a chemist who moves to a town called Moonbury, and you're trying to win people's trust because let's just say chemists don't have the best reputation there. So you run your own clinic and you need to gather resources to make different potions and cure the residents. In the clinic, you can diagnose the symptoms through a rather simple minigame, and then making the potion itself is also through a minigame. This one is in the advanced category because there is combat and there is an emphasis on progressing your relationships. Most of the time they are easy, but when I played it, there were some aspects of it that were a bit too like, I just didn't know what the game wanted me to do. But otherwise, this is such a fun and cute cozy game, which also got a recent free update, and I feel like it's really slept on and you should definitely pick it up and play it next. The next advanced cozy game is Tchia, and what a beautiful game this is. This one's an open world sandbox set on a stunning island where you play as Tchia, and she has this power to take control of anything and everything around her, be it animals or objects. The sky's the limit. And the story's premise is that your dad has been kidnapped, so you're trying to find him. And the way that this game just sucks you into its lore and its characters, and you can feel how much the devs have poured so much love into it, there's something about it that you're just like hooked into learning more about this world. So you're gonna find yourself just wanting to play endless hours and trying to find out what new animal or object you can take control of next. You can also play the ukulele, and the music in this game is chef's kiss. It's in the advanced list though because of how open the world is, and it can definitely be a bit confusing for a beginner. Another advanced cozy game is Dave the Diver, which is pretty popular by now, but doesn't mean that everybody has played it. There are some people that I've seen in my comment section say that they're on the fence about it, so maybe we can change that. So you play as, you guessed it, Dave, who is also, you guessed it, a diver. You're gonna hunt down some fish and then grab them to run your sushi shop. This one adds some RPG elements, and it also has a fun story that is unfolding, and I love how unserious it can be at times. There are many gameplay mechanics in this one which can be overwhelming for a beginner, but the biggest reason why I put it as an advanced game is because of the combat itself. This game can be very challenging, you're gonna probably die a lot at times, and I feel like that is something that a lot of cozy game lists, when they do talk about Dave the Diver, just like Cult of the Lamb, they forget to mention that, which can be off-putting for someone who is looking for just a chill and relaxing experience. But if you don't mind the combat, just like for me it was fine, then you're probably gonna enjoy this one. Now, another one that I rarely see people talk about is called Potionomics, and I feel like this is such an underrated game, and it deserves so much more love. Basically, you inherit your uncle's potion shop, and you realize that he is in debt. So as you try to pay it off, you are going to be managing his store. You can customize the shop, but the fun part is how the game lets you collect resources and build friendships with the quirky characters in the game. So this title manages to combine the narration with deck building and other gameplay loops like dating, and it's more on the difficult side with the time management aspect of it, but if you give it a chance and you slowly learn the gameplay loop, you're gonna be in for a really fun experience. Now, the next one is probably not gonna be a surprise for you. A lot of people have talked about it, but again, there are some people that I see saying that they are on the fence about it, and that's Spiritfarer, and I'm here to let you know why it is awesome, but also why it's considered more of a advanced cozy game. So you play as a fairy master, meaning you're helping the deceased complete their unfinished business before they get to see the light and go on to the afterlife. To do that, you set up a boat and you start managing it, which in turn lets you go on journeys of gathering resources, building different facilities, expanding the space available, etc. And this is all to fulfill the spirit's final wishes. It's such an emotional and beautiful game that has also received many free content updates, and this will give you like about 40 hours of gameplay. But the reason why it is advanced is because it deals with the topic of grief. And when you are playing a cozy game, if you're looking for bubbly and colorful and cute kind of story, this one is gonna be like, yeah, hello, we're gonna deal with death and loss and grief and all of that. And again, if you are looking for a cozy game title, it's good to let you know that you're gonna be crying when you play this one. Now, before we get to the cozy games that I would recommend you avoid, let's give a bubbly shout out of the day, and this one is going to Upper Nimbus, who commented on my upcoming cozy games video for 2024. Highly recommend that you check out this video because there are so many of them. But they said there's a lot of new cozy games. I'd never have the time to play every single one, but there's a couple in here that I'd be willing to try. Great video. Thank you so much, and I totally agree. The amount of cozy games that are coming out is crazy, but I feel like it's also good to have competition because that way the devs can be more innovative, and that is always a good thing for us. Now, if you want to get a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is leave a comment down below. Back to our video and the cozy games that I would recommend you avoid. And as anything in this video, just like I recommend different games and then I say, you know, avoid other ones, you might actually hate some of the games that I recommended, but actually love the games that I'm telling you to avoid. So it's your money, do whatever you want. Don't go attack attacking me in the comments. Okay, we're gonna keep it wholesome and bubbly. It's like, it's the season to be jolly. So just relax and calm down. But the first game is Paparazzi, and this one is all about taking cute pictures of doggos and uploading them on social media, which in concept seems very cute, right? Well, wrong, because you play through a first-person point of view and you start to get hit with terrible motion sickness if you actually deal with that like I do. And I actually realized that a lot of you do deal with motion sickness just as much as I do. I'm sorry you have to go through that. I know it's terrible, but as much as I tried to enjoy this one, I just couldn't. I was so nauseous when I played it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same for you. Another one to avoid is Blooming Business Casino, which is so sad to add here because it could have been such a cute and relaxing casino management game where the customers are the cutest animals and the characters are so quirky at times. However, the bugs in this game made my game just like, it was so game breaking, it was so immersion breaking, and I kept losing progress, and at one point I was like, you know what, this is just not worth my time. The next one to avoid is Horsedale's Emerald Valley Ranch, and we played this one on stream when it first released, and as beautiful as it can be, I said like it has so much potential, but it's really hard to recommend. The story is pretty much like not interesting at all in this one, and then the controls are so freaking clunky, and it just has so many bugs that the more that you play it, the more you realize like, why am I wasting my time playing this when I could be playing something much better? I also cannot recommend Paradise Marsh, which I know not many people have the same sentiment as I do, because if you look at the Steam reviews, it's actually very positive. So this one is all about catching bugs to help restore the stars in the sky, and as much as I love supporting indie devs and I am always encouraging more indie studios and just like a solo dev to take on this adventure, it's just a game that I simply couldn't click with. So that doesn't mean that you won't click with it. For me, it just miserably failed to capture my attention. Now let me know which is your favorite cozy game of all time. It can be on any platform, and which one is one that you actually regret buying. And if you want to learn about the best upcoming cozy games in 2024, check out this video next. Thank you so much to my YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make these videos possible. Thank you for watching, and a shout out goes to the fantastic Karoo, the games I mentioned, Jacob, Stephanie, Steven, Dark One, and Jake Logan for going the extra mile. Y'all are freaking epic. Until next time, stay bubbly.